What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, thank y'all for joining me today, and I always greatly appreciate it. If you watch my show for any length of time, you know that I can't stand these race hustles out here. This is a channel dealing with the issues of black people, the real issues facing black people. And these race hustlers, all they do is just perpetuate the problems. They keep black folks crying and complaining, angry and enraged about racism, alleged racism that nobody can ever tell you what's stopping them from doing achieving. They keep them in this as perpetual victims, keep black folks in perpetual stupidity, and always focus on and crying about other nonsense. And all the while, all these race hustlers, all doing very well for themselves. They're not broke, they're not struggling for money. They're doing well in this system with all this alleged oppression, while telling black folks to whine, cry, and complain instead of doing what they did to get rich. And it's sad that so many blacks who don't see this, because it's clear, as plain as day, but they're so, in this delusional, hypnotic trance that I guess they can't see it. Well, one such of these race hustlers out there is D.L. Hughley. He's a famous comedian, and I'm guessing the DL stands for deranged lunatic when you listen to half the crap that comes out of his mouth when he does all this race hustling. And of course, he hosts his nationally syndicated evening show, talk show, or radio show, while crying about all this oppression, as if all this oppression really existed when the white man oppress him from having the show, oppress him from being a successful comedian, being in movies, acting, and all this stuff. But yet, there's all this oppression. But anyway, he's known for saying a whole bunch of BS. And the latest nonsense that we heard coming out of his mouth is he made this claim that the most dangerous place for a black person is in a white person's imagination. Not in a womb, in a mother's womb, where since Roe versus Wade, something like estimated 52% of blacks were not born because they were aborted. And not in the hood around niggas, in which 93% of all blacks who are murdered are being killed by the blacks. No, the most dangerous place for a black person is in a white person's imagination. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, he made this claim that if somebody can go shoot up a school, a movie theater, saying, or basically just commit mass murder in general, attacks, and police officers show up, white people mainly, of course. Now, police officers show up and find these white people who are armed and take them in unharmed, right? But all these black people, police officers, white people, assume that they may have a gun, not knowing if they have a gun, and they just shoot them. So they know that the white person had a gun and they take them in unharmed, but the black person, who they don't know or they suspect they have the gun, they just pick out a gun and start shooting. Now, obviously, this is bull crap. And true to form with all the rest of the race hustlers, they never give you any real evidence and data to prove their point. They just make these BS rhetorical nonsense points, and it's all generally based off of perception and viewpoint. Typical liberal fashion. What they do is they'll find some instance somewhere, some case in which an armed white person was taken in unharmed, right? Then they'll find some case somewhere in which an unarmed black person was shot or killed by police officers, and then they compare and contrast the two, and then they make this argument that unarmed black folks are being killed while armed white people are being taken in unharmed. Again, bullshit with no evidence to support it. But I have a question to Mr. Deranged Lunatic now. You make these claims, or can you back it up with some evidence? Now, in order for you to prove this with some facts, you have to first look at all the cases, all cases involving white people with police officers as well as black people and police officers. And you have to show me all the cases in which all of these white people who were armed were taken in unharmed, and all the cases in which these black people who were armed that were taken in unharmed, and they do happen, trust me. And then you have to show me all the cases in which unarmed black people were killed by police officers or shot by police officers. And the same for white people. Show me the cases in which unarmed white people were killed by police officers or just shot and harmed by police officers. And then you have to do all that accounting for crime rates. Again, you have to show, before you can make that ridiculous claim, you have to show this evidence. You can't just make the bullshit up and without backing up with any evidence. And I want to see this evidence. So if anyone see this and they can get this message to DL, please get this message to him so he can back his claim up with some facts. And I would love to see it, but I'm not holding my breath because, as I've said, liberal leftists aren't too keen on facts. They're not too keen on proving what they say, because generally they don't. They make claims and then demonize people. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath on him providing the evidence of something that doesn't really exist, because I remember the case with when Larry Elder was debating another race hustler, Tavis Smiley, who's always digressing every 3 seconds. And he made this claim to Larry Elder, claimed he had the evidence, and he said that when he got back to his office, he would send Larry Elder this evidence. And as far as I know, I believe this was something like 9 years ago, and Larry Elder is still waiting on that information. So somebody can get in touch with Tavis, let him know that Larry Elder is still waiting on that data. So that's why I'm not holding my breath on these goddamn race hustlers who are always crying while complaining about America and all these alleged racism, quote unquote, yet all doing well for themselves. DL ain't struggling. Tavis Smiley ain't struggling. We know Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton ain't struggling. Yet they all persist on crime. But then again, like I said, I want this facts and information, because we need to start holding these liberal leftists accountable and asking them to provide the evidence, and no amount of name calling, demonizing is going to stop it. So DL, where's the evidence? Show me the Carfax. I'll be waiting, but not holding my breath. I'll be breathing. And I'll be waiting for this data to show up. And you back up your bullshit. But anyway, y'all, this is just another video on these race hustlers. And as always, y'all, until next time. But by the way, if this data ever comes out, I'll be making a video on it, showing the data. But like I said, don't hold your breath on it. And as always, y'all, until next time.